The mother accused of killing and abandoning her baby at Phoenix Sky Harbor bathroom 20 years ago is now out of jail. Detectives arrested Annie Anderson for the death of the baby known as baby Skylar last year and was being held on $1 million bond. So how did she get out now? True crime correspondent Brianna Whitney here to tell us.
Yeah, I learned a little bit about this over the weekend and was shocked by what was happening. Now I've learned a lot more. We knew the mother, Annie Anderson, was from Washington, and that's where she was arrested for murder nearly 2 decades later. Well, recently her defense team argued for a lower bond. Not only did a judge grant that lower bond, but we learned more details about what happened to baby Skylar. It was back in October 2005 when police say Annie Anderson killed her newborn baby and left her body in a bathroom trash can in Terminal 4 at Sky Harbor. She was reportedly in town at the time for a real estate boot camp. It took genealogy coming onto the map for detectives to be able to identify her as the mother, and she reportedly confessed to the crime. Now we've learned she told police she didn't feel well, took a bath, and gave birth to the baby in the bathtub. Court documents show she told detectives she left the infant underwater for some time because she didn't know what to do, then wanted to go home to Washington to visit her ailing grandmother, and that's when she abandoned the baby. The medical examiner determined the baby was alive for 24 hours before she was killed. Police used DNA to find the baby's biological father. He told police he didn't know Annie was pregnant either. Her defense team asked for her bond to be lowered to $100,000 secured, claiming the crime was so long ago, she has family to tend to, and isn't a risk to the public. They also said her family is willing to move down here and be here until the case is over. The judge set the new bond to $200,000, and now we know Annie was released on December 12th with electronic monitoring. And Annie Anderson has been active on her Facebook page since being released. She's talked to her followers and her friends, and she told them, quote, all hell broke loose this past year. It's been a rough year. And she said, quote, I believe things will happen and end up in my favor. So she's been talking to people that she knows on Facebook, giving them updates since. Not sure a lawyer would advise to be doing that. She's been commenting to people saying she's still in the area, but it's interesting, and she does believe that this is all going to work out in her favor in the end.
The details of this story is mind-boggling.
Right.
The new ones especially.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy even when we thought about it. The fact that this was a cold case and DNA solved it so long ago. As of now, the trial is slated for February, to start on February 18th, but that could get moved back, and we see that often. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because I don't usually see something like this.
So it's not typical for a crime
No,
like
not
this.
for a first degree. I mean, we're talking first degree murder charges, child abuse, abandoning or concealing a dead body. Those are very serious charges. But I think when the judge looked at it, he looked at the fact she didn't have criminal history. She hasn't committed crimes like this, at least in the 20 years since this happened, and she felt like, or they felt like, she wouldn't pose a risk. If her trial does happen in February, then it really is only about a month away. So maybe the judge thought there's not a lot of risk between there. Will she take a plea deal? I don't know.
A lot can happen. A lot of eyeballs on this trial for sure.
Absolutely.
Brianna, thank you.
Yeah.